I had a very successful event in Singapore. I was there for 10 days. A lot of you showed your affection on me wherever I went, whether it was the streets of Singapore, whether it was at the restaurants, the malls, and more particularly at the events. I wish to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. My team felt that I had never done a full fledged event in Abu Dhabi, and they wanted me to do so because we have a lot of friends there. So the next event would be in Abu Dhabi on the 5th of October. Those desirous of participating in that event, drop a message at the WhatsApp number given below or send a mail at the email given. My team will get in touch with you.
Hey guys, welcome back to Be Rich. Before we get into the video, I wanted to bring to your notice that my uncles Vinod Srinivasan, Anand Srinivasan and I have rolled out our Substack, which is basically a blog/newsletter where we're going to post our original research onto it. And we've analyzed macroeconomic trends. And a lot of you know my uncle Anand Srinivasan and I regularly write for The Hindu. And these articles are also going to be made available for you in the Substack. The link is moatinvesting.substack.com. You'll find it in the description and in the video right now. We hope you go check it out. We've put a lot of time and effort into it. And please give us comments and feedback on what you read. Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Welcome back to a Monday and Monday evening. And today the news was all about Bajaj Housing Finance IPO opens today. Was the news was grabbing quite a bit of momentum in the market, at least in the market news. The market did open on the negative side. There come some of the shares which we usually consider were there if you've been looking at it. Of course, I'm recording this in the morning, so as the day plays out, we'll have to see. Some of them are mixed, some of them are good, some of them are not so good. So there are opportunities there in the so-called list which we have for you to consider. So I would strongly urge you to keep it in mind when the market opens again tomorrow morning. If there are opportunities to keep looking at different coffee ranges and not to get swayed by what you're reading in terms of the Fed, in terms of saying market news and what's happening globally. Like I've said, in this current market, the best way to navigate it is to look for individual stocks which are there at a reasonable price where you're comfortable with taking on that kind of a risk and don't mind looking at it in the long term and investing. Anything in the short term is not worth entering the market because, honest to God, it's really hard to say where this market is going to go from here on for the next year or less, because there are so many things happening in India, there's so many things happening globally, and of course American elections, and all that put together. I would say in the short term there will be volatility, and which way the swings we do not know. Like the US job markets report wasn't so bad, and the trend of the unemployment is not going up. It seems to have stabilized and actually improved a little bit. So even the Fed will be unlikely right now to rapidly reduce the interest rates. And even if they are reducing it, it will probably be a quarter point. It's what they're saying. The analysts, that is. The Fed has not come out and said anything. Because the Fed has two mandates. One is inflation and the second mandate is labor market in the US and to help control the unemployment rate in the US. So they will try and keep an eye on that and make sure it doesn't run away like what they had with the inflation. So we'll have to wait and watch. So as far as gold prices are concerned and everything else is concerned, we'll have to wait and watch what the Fed does to see. Domestically speaking, we know what is happening in terms of gold. The festive season is coming. And like I spoke in a previous video, to make gold more affordable to the masses, especially the younger generation, government's even considering of hallmarking 9-carat gold. So we'll have to see. So coming back to the point of the Bajaj Housing Finance IPO, there's lots of hoopaloo about that, and lots of analysts are saying you should definitely consider it. Yes, Bajaj is a big brand. They have a lot of big companies. Yes, and those companies are valuable. And if you have managed to buy those companies at a reasonable price, at a price of value, I'm sure you're rather happy holding on to these companies. And there's nothing wrong in them. And they're one of the oldest families in Indian industry. They are launching this Bajaj Housing Finance. What is this initial IPO all about? Well, they're going to take all these funds and help you to capitalize into this new business. Not a new business, the business which they've already been doing. But specifically, this company which they're launching will only deal with housing finance. That means lending loans for people who would like to buy properties, mortgages, loans against properties, that is, and people who are looking at commercial renovations and domestic renovations. Whole bunch of slew of things which are related to property and property-related financing. And the price band which they're offering this is 66 to 70. And right now at the IPO, the profits EPS per share is around 21, if I remember right. So if you look at the price to book at IPO level itself, it seems to be they're pricing it at around 3, and price to book at 3 for a finance company is rather expensive, according to me and Anand, especially Anand, that is. And we always look at finance companies at their book value because their primary underlying asset is their deposits and the money which they have and the loans they make and the interest they're able to garner. So price to book, the book value is very important for finance companies because there's nothing else they're doing other than this. It's not like a manufacturing unit or a sales unit or a services unit. So it's basically about rotation of capital. So that being said, at 3, and if you look at all the competitors who are there in the market and where they've priced at in price to book, it seems that there are a lot of other companies, which I don't want to mention names because you can do this yourself. You can go look at housing finance companies in India. And if you're interested, like I'm looking at the screener list right now. So you can go to the screener and say finance housing companies and it'll show you. I'm looking at around 20, so-called the 20 top list companies. And if I look at the price to book value of these companies, most of them are at 3 or below. And a few of them are even a little higher than 3. So at this price point, I would say it's not something worth considering, the IPO, because it's priced at a very high premium. So I would definitely rather wait to see what happens in the market once this is launched. Of course, a company like Bajaj Housing Finance, once the IPO comes out of the gate, there will be a lot of demand in the market initially, and my price might even rise up, might even go up maybe to 80, 90 and hold there, I don't know. But I would rather pick up this company when it is at a reasonable value price. That means at the current earnings, what this Bajaj Housing Finance is at per share, whatever they've shared in their red herring, that is. Looking at that, I would say a price band of at least, 50, 55 or even less. I would say around 40. Price band, I would say, is reasonable if you are really keen on it. I would even look at it lower as a value buyer for me, that is personally. I would look at it something even lower at a price point when I decide to think it's something worth buying. Or their earnings themselves go up to the point where price to book, the book value goes up to the point where it makes sense to enter the stock. This is my personal opinion. If you are very keen on IPOs, a lot of you do ask me and Anand, is it worthwhile doing the IPO switch, which is like you apply for the IPO, you have a lot of the shares, and as soon as the trading opens, you immediately dump the shares and try and book profits. I don't know if it's really a viable way of making wealth in the market. Looking at the numbers, I don't see it. And all the short-term gains you will have to pay and taxes involved and the amount of effort you have to put in, that's quite a lot of effort to make a few peanuts, I would say. I would rather, at this current juncture, look at value buys, like I've been saying in the previous videos, with lots of companies we have spoken about, which you can take into consideration. And even in finance, there are lots of companies which are right now, which we would consider at good value. And you can consider them. And holding that maybe for a year or two can definitely give you far better returns than trying to do these IPO flips. Well, that's my opinion. This is what I wanted to share about Bajaj IPO. So those of you who are applying, best of luck. I wish you all the best. And whatever you have intentions, I hope they come to fruition and you enjoy those. I personally am not applying for this IPO. I don't think Anand is also applying for this IPO. And he would probably be around the same opinion as far as this one is concerned. The very few IPOs Anand has said we should definitely look at. Other than the recent Tata one, I don't think he has said any other IPOs we should really be looking at. It's not that anything is wrong with this company. It is what the premium they're asking us to pay. There doesn't seem to be value in it as an investor at this premium band. I would say at a lower price would be much better for us to think and consider. Thanks for watching the video. As always, guys, do like and subscribe and share. Do send it to people and friends who might enjoy this kind of content. And I'll see you in the next one tomorrow evening. Thank you.
It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.